This is media anarchy.
Push the button, connect the goddamn dots! Connect the goddamn dots! Connect the goddamn dots!
Welcome back to the Media Anarchy YouTube channel. I am your research investigator, Captain Obvious. I want to give a report that a lot of people aren't talking about right now. It's going to contain a lot of dot connecting. Did some connecting the dots, everything we see going on right now and how it connects to specific individuals and how long that this thing has been going on. Now, we've heard a lot about the New World Order, Agenda 21. We've heard a lot about this pandemic, or what we're considering a plandemic. There's proof that it was planned. And I want to get into the dot connecting, because when you go down that rabbit hole and you hop along the money trail and you start making connections, you start to see the bigger picture. And that's what I want to do today. This report was brought to my attention in our private chat group that you all know about, you've all been invited to. For whatever reason, I have placed the link down in the description and in the chat group, the chat system down below. And a lot of people are not coming there for whatever reason. I did, however, find out that people aren't getting notifications. Well, there's a big censorship thing going on right now. And about 150 people out of the 275 that I sent the link to before in the last 8 or 10 reports said they never received it. So again, I'm going to continue to invite you. You're welcome. Go to the About section of the Media Anarchy YouTube channel and scroll all the way down the bottom and you'll find the link if you would like to join. You're welcome. Okay? So this report is going to connect a lot of the things we see going on today with a lot of the people that are involved. And it's some deep, deep stuff. Not a lot of people are talking about it. You see alternative news and investigative journalists speaking about it in separately, each one of these. Well, I'm going to connect them all together because, that's part of our investigative research here at Media Anarchy, which I don't do anymore for various reasons. But this little report was brought to my attention. It was one that I did a similar report on it a couple of years ago. And I think with everything that's going on today and the people that are involved, I think we're due for an update on this. So let's get into the report. Okay, so we've heard a lot over the years about the New World Order, Agenda 21. We've heard when Glenn Beck of the Blaze, when he exposed Agenda 21 several years ago, and then he got, I don't know if he got fired or they forced him out of the mainstream media, and he kind of was hassled for a while because he exposed it. And it has everything to do with the New World Order. And for those of you that still do not believe it exists, I don't know what to tell you. You've been deceived and I guess brainwashed, and now we're being predictively programmed by the mainstream media. And we've talked about this predictive programming many, many times. We've explained how it works and why they do it. People still can't grasp the concept that there are evil, wicked people in this world that are trying to control humanity and the population. And we've been hearing a lot about this virus, or this vaccine that's being created, and they're now, that's Event 201, which was a test. The whole damn thing is a test. These people that are dying are not dying from COVID. Then you have ID 2020, which is Bill Gates' plan to bring down the population by the use of a vaccine. Because we've seen what happened when people take vaccines, especially the flu. How many people we've heard over the last 5 years alone dying from the flu shot. So you have to have a digital identification, which is a microchip, to be able to go into places without a mask on and be able to do things without a mask on, or this whole thing about making sure everyone in every business in every place is aware that you've been vaccinated. And the only way to prove that is through a digital identification. That's how they're going to push this whole microchip implant we all know about. The beast system of control. Not the religious stuff, the system. It's a beast system. It's a big old beast. It just controls humanity. Now, we've talked about the national emergencies and the executive orders that have been signed since 1945 are still in effect. And it gives the elites more power and takes more liberties away from you, more rights and things of that sort. So when you see these national emergencies and these executive orders that I mentioned back in February will not be lifted, they're not being lifted. In fact, they're being pushed as the new norm. So I was right about that, but only because I see patterns. Okay? When you investigate, you see these things. Okay? So we already know, people are already aware about the microchip implant. So how are they going to be able to push that on you so they can use it to control you during the New World Order, one world religion, one world government, and one world currency, and for you to be able to access your currency? That goes along with this universal money thing, where they're going to pay people to not work. Okay? Well, how are you going to access that money? Well, you gotta comply with the beast system and take the chip. Okay? How are they going to push that now that we all know about the microchip implant? Well, they have to hide it with the vaccine. Well, how do you do that? ID 2020. That's Bill Gates' plan, ID 2020. Get people predictively programmed by the media to accept that digital ID. And that digital ID isn't just only going to let businesses and people know that you've been vaccinated. Okay? It's going to allow you to have access to your normal human life. And anytime you say something bad in this socialism that's being pushed by the left, anytime you say something bad on social media, they'll shut your chip off so you can't access your bank and food and house and all this crap. So let's get into this report. We're going to connect the dots. And I'm going to do this clean so you can share this. I'm not going to get all vulgar like I would love to do. All right, so as many of you heard, Moderna is in stage 3 of their vaccine testing. And if all goes well, it will become federal law. It will become federal law to get the vaccine. Now here's something a lot of people don't know. Guess who was the first CEO of Moderna? It was a Cornell graduate by the name of Anthony Fauci. You know, the Fauci, the one we got to go to and find out about wearing goggles with masks, and earplugs and butt plugs. And when the camera ain't looking, he's taking his mask off and talking to everybody. You know what I mean? And guess who his roommate was? Bill Gates. It was at Cornell that Bill Gates designed the RFID, radio frequency identification microchip implant. Okay? And that's not a conspiracy theory. Half of Switzerland's already been microchipped, and a lot of businesses here in the U.S. you don't hear about have been microchipped as well. There's a medical facility, I think it's either in Wisconsin or Minnesota, it's over that way somewhere, where everybody in there had to take the implant in order to work there. Okay? Now, write this patent number down, because I found it very interesting that when I did a little Google search on this patent, it didn't come up microchip implant. You know what came up from 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago? Coronavirus, COVID, Event 201, Plandemic. You bet your ass it did. So I want you to write this down. Get a pen and paper. US 200625785 I'll repeat it. US 200625785 Now, Moderna was a pharmaceutical company that started in Germany under the name IG Farben, Farben, I'm going to be a little more detailed in this report because I want you guys to do your own research and your own homework and find this out for yourself. You start connecting the dots and go, holy crap. I'm not even joking. This IG Farben was under the guise of ICLEI. Remember ICLEI during Agenda 21? Okay, they're the group that's kind of like the Bilderberg group that's pushing the Agenda 21 plan. Now, when you do a little search on your own state and you look up cities in state, whatever state you pick, you put cities like my home state. This is what I would do for those of you that need a little more layman's term. I looked up cities in Michigan under Agenda 21 control. We got 5 cities in Michigan that are controlled. It doesn't say Agenda 21 because the state of Michigan passed a law in 2014 opposing Agenda 21 because they knew what it was, they knew what it was going to be used for, they knew what the future was holding for it, and they knew who was behind it. But these 5 cities are under they call it like a congressional committee called ICLEI. Yeah, so let's just keep digging. Let's keep digging down this rabbit hole. We're going to, hop down the money trail. IG Farben is famous for its mass production of Zyklon B. That is a Zyklon-B. It was the primary gas used to kill the Jews during the Holocaust. Now, after Germany fell, IG Farben was dissolved, and its assets were sold off by a Nazi who turned American by the name of George Soros. Yep. Soros rebranded the company as Moderna. So now we have Moderna, who's creating the vaccine for the planned virus by a company which originally created the gas that Holocausted all the Jews. Now think about that for a minute. It's all connected. It's all connected. All these elites are connected. Now people want, the people on the left, and I think I've mentioned this already, people on the left want to keep saying the people on the right, just every time something goes, like with the crisis actors and the paid crisis actors with the school shootings. We kept finding it, the same person was at 2 or 3 different school shootings. These are paid protesters by George Soros. Well, it was on Craigslist. The ad was there to hire professional protesters. That's why you hear alternative news talk about these are professional protesters. Well, sure they are. Sure they are. You think for 1 minute, if Antifa and Black Lives Matter were legit, they could afford 20 or 30 Mercedes vans to haul them into a town anywhere in the United States so they can create the chaos? You think they can afford that shit? Nope. It's being funded. And when you follow the money, you can see the money is being funneled from here to here to here to here to here to here, and it all links back to who? The head of the original company that created the gas that killed all the Jews. So, moving on. He rebranded the company Moderna, and who was the primary stockholder of Moderna before he died just a few months ago? You guessed it, or maybe you didn't. Jeffrey Epstein. So now you have those elites, the sex trafficking elites, connected to these guys who are connected to those guys who are all in on this whole New World Order plan. And yet, people are protesting the wrong stuff. And that's why stuff never changes. Because a nation divided cannot stand united. And that's why they continue to keep a social distance and put your masks on. Now Fauci wants us to wear goggles and nobody can go here and nobody go there. And the kids go to school and they get further brainwashed by the 1619 project that a lot of blacks are speaking out about. Okay? So, his role in Moderna, we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein here, his role in Moderna is where he made his fortune establishing connections. And that list just came out recently, a couple days ago. Alternative News had showed it, talked about it. One was Bill Clinton, and the other one was Mr. and Mrs. We got COVID, so we had to go into quarantine. No, you didn't. You left the country and went to that Bronson's Island to hide because your name was on that list. Mr. Tom Hanks. Oh yeah. So, I will end this with this. I'm going to dedicate this ending to those who think they're awake and still don't get it, or those who are continuously dumbed down, brainwashed, deceived, and predictably programmed by the media to believe all this bullshit. Okay? I'm going to end it with this, dedicated to you. You better wake up. We were right about everything the last several years. You need to wake up. You're being mentally conditioned and socially controlled by some truly evil people that have been planning the New World Order for hundreds of years, and you're slowly getting closer to a very rude awakening. September or November 4th, I wouldn't be anywhere near town. I mean, if you have a small knit town, everybody's close together, blah, 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 it's fine. Okay? But they're now starting to hit in these smaller cities. Okay? Starting to hit these smaller cities. There's 42 cities under civil war right now. You're not hearing about it on mainstream media, but I bet if you go to alternative news, you can see live footage, or look it up on YouTube. People are posting that stuff left and right. That's why everybody's being shadow banned and censored on mainstream media and alternative social media like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, Snapchat, and all that garbage. And Google is censoring topics, and it's getting bad, man. It's getting bad. My mortgage went through. We're looking at a nice house up in the woods up north, back river out the back door, lake across the street on the other side of some good hunting property, and I'm surrounded by the Amish who say, don't come in our store with a mask on. That's sad. When the most wide-awake people I have ever met happen to be people who are not connected to society. So, until next time, God bless. Rock on. Captain out.
Let people tell you what you're going to do. Let people push you around. How long do you think it's going to last? How long are you going to let it go on? Maybe you like it. Maybe you like being pushed around. Maybe you love getting your face stuck in the shit. Come on. You're all a bunch of slaves. Letting everybody push you around. Your ballroom days are